Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome. So we are meeting again after a long break. And today is 17th March 2025, Monday. So we gathered here to continue our discussion on Bhaktiyaloka. I believe that many of you are really benefiting from this Bhaktiyaloka. And I can see a lot of transformation. Yes, Vaishnava Prabhu.
Prabhu, my nephew collapsed and died suddenly, Prabhu.
Oh, when Prabhu?
He was given a project at Johor, so I brought the body back here. So could you excuse
Okay.
me today, Prabhu?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
You can watch the recording.
Prabhu?
No, you can watch the recording.
Thank you.
All right. So heartfelt condolences to Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu. So let's we all chant one time for the nephew of Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu. Shall we do it? Just one mantra, all right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. May his soul is blessed. May he born again, if at all, as a devotee of the Lord. Okay?
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Okay, so today we gathered here on 17th March 2025, Monday after a few days break since last Friday, last Thursday. Thursday we discussed on Chaitanya Charitamrita, text chapter 13, Adya Lila, and so we had a fantastic festival, Gaura Purnima. I hope that you all have really enjoyed the Gaura Purnima festival. Okay. And also we have seen devotees like in Ipoh, like Vivan Prabhu and also Rusan Chang Mataji. So they all came here and they all had a good time. And I saw that Rusan Mataji was dancing in great ecstasy. All right. So it's good. It's very good that some or other, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the mercy of Srila, what they call? Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So some or other, we are getting this great mercy. Okay. So without further ado, so let's do our invocation prayer before we start our session. Om Eknanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utta Padakamanam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarajadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidamcha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasa Charisatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhana Vidaitai Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Viknana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jwala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dina Tarine Rupanuga Viruddha Pasidanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambu Jayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauravir Bhava Bhume Swamnidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhubevacha Paditaram Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhayo Namo Namaha Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Garatase Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Jaya Pataka Swaminiti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Kata Damadaya Nagaragrama Hari Hari Om Right. Hare Krishna. So I'm very excited to meet up again. Felt something like a big emptiness, since that we were not doing classes for the past few days. So I was just looking forward for today. In fact, today I had some important task, but somehow or other I was like pushed it away. So I'm happy and I'm grateful to Rosan Chang Mataji, Sheila Mataji, Shanti Mataji, Nanda Devi Mataji, Vivan Prabhu and Keshavan Prabhu for coming in, joining our session on this beautiful Monday morning. Right. So let's start our conversation, our discussion. Sorry. So we stopped at now. Let us consider Sangha. Okay. Now it's just nice just here. Okay. So we're going to start our discussion from here. All right. So before that, let's do our recap. So what we were saying, okay. Here, okay, all occupational engagement is certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. All right. So anything that we do in our life, any job, any businesses or whatever it is supposed to be meant for ultimate liberation. All right. We have to endeavor for liberation. We make money. We do the money in charity. Right. Like I'm grateful to this, what is his name? Chaitanya Daya Prabhu, Chong Prabhu, because he purchased one set of Chaitanya Charitamrita to give away as a charity. So that is what, he's a contractor, but whatever income that he makes, he'll take it and engage this way. All right, Sastra Dan. It's very auspicious. Furthermore, according to the sages, one who is engaged in ultimate occupational service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. All right. So whatever that we get benefit from our job, our business, whatever it is, it should never be used for material gain, but use it to perform spiritual activity. Then in Chaitanya, then this is okay. It says that life desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. That's very, very important. Life's desire never to be directed for sense gratification. So whatever desire we have, it is all to be dovetail to Sri Krishna. That's why we call it a Yukta Vairagya. So all shouldn't be used for our own enjoyment and happiness. One should desire only for healthy life, which is very important, and or self-preservation. That means just healthy life and enough to survive. Since human being is meant for inquiry about absolute truth, nothing else should be the goals of one's work. Oh, best among the twice born is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed by one's occupational according to caste, division, and order of life is to please the personality of Godhead, right? So it's also concluded that the highest perfection that one can achieve in discharging the duties, all right? This is all for karmis, all right? Those who are acting in karma yoga, so that means they should work according to their nature. What is the nature of their job? What is the nature of their family business? Should be just utilize it for, what happened? All right. So, so in order to please the Supreme Personality. Then one also, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about and glorify, remember and worship personality of Godhead. How? One pointed, that means really attention, without getting diverted, all right? That means when you chant Hare Krishna, you just one point chanting Hare Krishna. Not chanting Hare Krishna while looking at your phone, while watching a TV, while driving, while engaging in something else. Just chanting. That's called one pointed. Okay. So the purport is that 20. And also, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining there's a 20 religious scriptures. There are mainly instruction about three varga. Right. The welfare of the karmi, the merciful sages have composed 20 religious principles for the suitable for karmis. All right. It's all meant for karmis. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, chapter 20, text 9, it says, as long as one is not satiated by fruitive activity and has not awakened his taste for devotional service. Okay. That means he's still, not satisfied with his fruitive activity and haven't developed the taste for devotional service, like by Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, one has to act according to the regulative principle. So when they haven't come to that level, that's when one has to act according to the regulative principle of the Vedic injunction. Why? Because when you are following the regulative principle, you do not go astray. All right, you don't get carried away. Because when Vedic injunction, it is a disciplined way of life. This is what do's and don'ts, right? So the do's is everything dovetail to Krishna and everything engage in Krishna service. So, and always remember that we are the servant. So we are not the thing. Okay, that means we do not enjoy our fruit of activity. Okay, so that is the do's. The don'ts is follow the regulative principle like no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. All right. So this is what it is according to the Vedic injunction. Okay. So that is also for the karmis. That means those who have not awakened his taste for devotional service. Because by following these rules and regulation, some or other we will awaken the desire, right, to our taste for devotional service. All right. So for the karmis mentioned by the Lord in this verse, three varga is only prescribed occupation. Those who have become indifferent to attain jnana, for them there is no longer need for three varga activities. They give up those activities and become eligible for sannyas with dry knowledge. Okay. So all this we have read. So therefore, whether one is a householder or a renunciate, all practitioners should totally give up the association with women. The devotees should carefully give up the above mentioned sangha in the form of association. So we have elaborately discussed what is that association with women, especially the brahmacharis and also the sannyasis, and also for any kind of even grahastha. All right. So we should always keep it to within, because among the best attraction in this material world, women are the most attractive. It's a nature. So when we see a beautiful nature like scenery, trees, hills, mountains, all that we can see and appreciate. But when a beautiful woman or the woman comes, every part of the body of the woman is very attractive, and it can lure men into lure him away from the path. We have seen it. We have seen it with so much of example. So we have to be very, very careful. So now let's just consider sangha in the form of attachment. So just now we talk about detachment, but what is the sangha in the form of attachment? All right. So here Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining attachment are two kinds. There are two kinds of attachment. That is attachment for prejudice and attachment for assets. Okay. First, I will discuss the attachment of prejudice. Now, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying he's going to discuss prejudice. There are two types of prejudice. When you look at prejudice, there are two types. One is ancient and second is current. All right, ancient and current prejudice. The conditioned living entities has been performing fruitive activities and endeavoring for knowledge since time immemorial. Okay, and the prejudice that have developed in his subtle body. That means the prejudice that have developed in his subtle body as a result are called ancient prejudice. Right? So now, prejudices. So now when you see that as we have discussed, and I think I also have mentioned this in during our Gita Gyan program, that we have taken birth millions and millions of times. All right? Okay, so we have taken birth so many times. Okay. Okay, first of all, let's understand what is prejudice. Okay, prejudice means what? Okay, now we are talking about prejudice. What is prejudice means? Okay, prejudice means, very simple, refers to preconceived opinion or judgment about someone or something. preconceived opinion. Example, okay, like what the Americans are doing, right? Americans are saying the preconceived opinion or this thing, they say Islamophobia. They said as long as a person is a Muslim, he's a terrorist. All right, that is prejudice, because that is something that they have preconceived opinion or judgment. They make a judgment, all right, about someone or something, all right, are not based on reason. Okay, they are not based on reasons, facts, or actual experience. Okay, it is not based on reason, facts, or actual experience. It often stems from stereotype and can lead to discrimination. Okay, can lead to discrimination or unfair treatment. Or in other words, unfair treatment. Like for instance, like what is the prejudice in this country? All right, the prejudice in this country, they say Indians are drunkards and criminals. Chinese are gamblers and scammers. Malays are lazy and mud rimping. So this is the standard prejudice that they have created in this country, right? But that is not the fact. That's not the fact, okay? So the fact is, because this all been stereotyped and also as based on, and without any actual experience, and it stems to stereotype, it can lead to discrimination. So now you all understand what is prejudice means. That means there's no fact. There's no actual reasoning. It is a discriminatory act, right? So particularly when directed to an individual or groups based on their race, religion, gender, or other characteristic. All right, this is what Oxford Dictionary is saying, prejudice. So now Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining about the prejudices that have been developed. So that means he says there are two kinds of prejudice. All right, number one, that means prejudice have developed the subtle body. It is been developed in subtle body. I believe you all know what is subtle body. Anyone who don't know subtle body? Do any one of you don't know what is subtle body? If you don't know, please tell me. Every one of you know what is subtle body means? Hare Krishna, anybody home?
Yes, yes, we know. My
Okay.
intelligent ego.
Yes. So let's communicate, right? Let's communicate actively. All right. So the subtle body is we got two types of body. The first body that we have is made of subtle body. Sorry, the first body is now what we are seeing now is actually the gross body. Okay, we have a gross body with us now, number one. Then second to that is, okay, that's within us, there's a subtle body. Okay, the gross body has 5 elements. The subtle body has 3 elements. Okay, then inside that there's a soul, right? So ever since we fell from the spiritual world, we have been carried by the subtle body to all varieties of gross body. Subtle body is something very conducive that it can enter into every gross body. Okay, in other words, what we can say, like, okay, like a petrol. A petrol is a standard preparation, but it can fit all kinds of vehicle. Even you drive a Kanchil or you drive a Mercedes-Benz, the same petrol can empower that vehicle. So similarly, subtle body is something that has been created, that we have accepted. All right, it's a kind of uniform that I think we have explained about that uniform, right? In our previous class, when you go to the prison, we have a standard uniform like that. That means we are a prisoner. So the subtle body has been created. So since we have taken millions and trillions of births, in these millions of trillions of births that we have taken, we have also taken experiences. We have a lot of experiences. Okay, in this body of a pig, I've got one experience. Then the body of a dog, I've got one experience. Then the body of a worm, I got like that. We have so many experiences until the mind, intelligence, ego was so corrupted, until we start to believe that this is the place for me. This is the place for me. All right, it doesn't think out of the box. And of course, the Maya Devi, the external energy of Krishna, Maya Devi, she is also created in such a way that everything looks so real. Everything looks very real. The relationship, the property, the money, the enjoyment, the excitement, the enthusiasm, the name and fame, pride, just name it. Everything looks so real until we are in the spell. Okay, we are in the spell of this material nature. So now Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining about the ancient what they call prejudice. Okay, because the conditioned living entity has been performing fruitive activities and endeavoring for knowledge, some or other, since time immemorial. Everyone is looking for a knowledge. Even there's two types of knowledge. One is spiritual, second is material. Spiritually, we are going for a self realization, and material knowledge is something like how to manipulate this material nature. All right, that is by the scientists. So some or other we are trying to endeavor for something. All right, and the prejudices that have developed in his subtle body. Right, the subtle body, the prejudices has already developed. As a result, or so-called a result are called ancient prejudices. Now you understand? Bhakti Vinod Thakur is dividing into two. One is ancient, second is current. So the ancient prejudices is something that we have been accumulated the experience, the knowledge for time immemorial. Those prejudices are known as one's nature, and this has become as one's nature. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 14, chapter 5, text 14, na kartirtvam na karmani lokasya srajati prabhuhu na karma pala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities. Now let's look at this. The embodied spirit, who is the master of the city of his body. All right. So what is that? Another thing is called master of 9 gates, right? So that means embodied spirit is the one, the master of the body. Okay. Does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. Okay. What does that mean? The embodied spirit. I mean the spirit that has been embodied. That is with limitation. Okay. All right. Master of the city of his body. That means I am the master of this body. I am the soul and I am the master city of the body. But here Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, does not create activity. So the soul does not create that activity. Nor does he induce people to act. He doesn't induce people to act. Nor does he create the fruits of action. Okay, it's just like a battery that you put into a remote control car, right? It doesn't induce the car to go fast. It doesn't induce the car to turn right or turn left or reverse, right? It is just supplied the energy to the remote control car, right? And the car, okay, now it's like that. All these are enacted, okay, in the modes of material nature. So everything is enacted in the mode of material nature. So everything is happening by the 3 mode of material nature. Okay, all these mode of material nature. Similarly, the car that has been put a remote inside, the battery inside, is controlled by the person who are controlling the remote. But the battery doesn't induce all these things. But without the battery, car is useless. All right? It's just I'm giving an analogy for easy understanding. So Srila Baladev Vidya Bhushan comments, Anadi Pravritta Pradana Vashamritta Swabhava Sabde Nokta Prabhanika Dehamin Jiva. Okay. Okay, it's a nice verse. All right, it says, Anadi Pravritta Pradana Vashanatra Svabhava Shabde Nokta Pradanika Deha Diman Jiva Karayita Karta Chetina Viviktasya Tattvam Iti. The primordial material desire that active since time immemorial is called one's nature. Okay. The primordial material desire, that means the uncontrolled material desire that is active since time immemorial is called one's nature. All right. That's what we see. Also, Bhagavad Gita says, at what desire, at what thought a person leaves the body or dies, that shall be his next birth. All right. In human form of life, our senses are limited in comparative with animal. All right. Example, we all have, that means our stomach in such a way that we cannot eat more than necessary. We only can eat to one level. All right. Then if you want to see things, you want to see all the beautiful things, We cannot see. And we like to stay awake the whole night. You cannot do that mistake. But what is that desire that you have accumulated in this birth? Right? I hate sun and I only want to be at night. Some people are like that, right? You have seen? The whole day they will be sleeping and the whole night they'll be awakening and going around and everything. Right? So since they have the senses that want to satisfy the eyes at night, therefore they'll be given a body that can stay alive, as they can stay awake at night and simply roam around, travel around to his fullest pleasure. Therefore, the person takes the birth as owl. Right? If the person who are foodie, I know I cannot tahan, my stomach is so full, I eat, then after that I drink let the thing get digest, then eat, then I drink another set of just to somehow or other digest the body. Therefore, they said, okay, since you love, you're satisfying your tongue and your belly is your biggest goal in this human life, therefore the nature will give you a body that is conducive, that you can just go on eating day and night, anything, anywhere. So it will take the form of a pig, right? So that's the thing. So primordial desire that is active since time immemorial is called one's nature. So if we have to check and balance, what is my nature? Where do I stand? Do I have something which cannot be controlled? So when you do a journaling, okay, as I said, do a journal and check and balance. See, where do you lack? Journal is something fantastic. I believe that devotees are doing it. Some devotees are performing it, all right? And if you have not started it, start it today itself. Find out what actually, because see, we are under illusion. We are under the spell of Maya. We are under illusion. Everything seems to be true, but actually it's not true. And we always think, all right, well, I'm okay, I'm fine. Or sometimes they say, well, I've chant my 16 rounds. Okay, today I take a break because I did yesterday. No, you can't do that, right? Because so the illusion will come and tell you, hey, come on, yesterday you chant 32 rounds. Today take a break, right? So somehow or other, because we are acting unknowingly because of our prejudice from our previous life, all our experience from previous life, and our nature to enjoy. Okay, so from time immemorial, somehow or other, it will lure you, it will make you excited of something which is not being worth excitement. So when we start to see things that is not exciting, or the exciting thing is not exciting at all, all right, like you go to disco, it's very exciting. If you have got experience, you know what I'm talking about. You go to disco with all the lights, doom, 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 so exciting. But now you're telling, no, that is not exciting. I rather go to the temple and I hear the beating of the drum and clashing of the kartal. That is more exciting. That means you are in knowledge. All right. So that means you are coming to the level of self-realization. Huh? You like to sing all kind of songs, like what now there's some group trend, some trends, people are singing all the things. So now you start to sing. I rather sing that Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in your favorite tune. That is intelligent. All right. So now, but we have all these kind of desires that have been active for time immemorial. So now your nature, it can also be understood. It is something that you have some kind of active desire from many, many births. All right. So it can be. So you have to check and balance, because any desire in this material world, it is not worth desiring, because it's not worth it. Because this kind of desire is not going to take you far in life. It's just going to degrade you into a abominable nature. So due to such desire, the living entity is supplied with material body. See, as I said just now, and other paraphernalia. So according to the desire that you have, you get a material body. What is your, like example I said about owl, I talk about pig and all these kind of things, right? And also other paraphernalia means other preparation, right? False identification. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying that is what that we are all under the great spell. We are all under the spell of false identification with the body. Cause one to act and cause others to act. All right. So false identification with the body cause one to act and cause others to act. Although this is not the pure soul's real constitutional nature. All right. So that is not the what they call it is not, although it is not the pure soul's real constitutional nature. The constitutional nature of a pure soul It is the eternal servant of the Lord and always endeavoring and always looking forward, drawing plans, and strategy. How can I serve the Lord? Okay. Other than that, opposite of that, everything is not in our constitutional nature. It is at a very artificial nature. All right. So that means, in other words, he says, due to such activity, okay, false identification with the body causes one to act and causes others to act. So sometimes when we are in this thing, we are not only acting, but we also want people to act on our behalf. All right. So we sometimes hire them, say like as your employee, or you can, as a father to the children, as a father to the wife, you want everybody to act. Example, like today now we all have become a devotee by some causeless mercy of some pure devotee and some Vaishnava. All of us never became a devotee just like that. We never fall down and bang, we became a devotee. Some or other, we went through some kind of, what they call, the mode of material nature. We had some kind of sense gratification. We were diverted into so many things like meat eating, intoxication, like drinking and all this, gambling, right? Like take KTM, Kuda, Toto, Magnum, and go to casino like this thing, Then also illicit sex. So we have gone through all this kind of situation, and by the mercy of the devotees, somebody came and told us, hey, stop. There's something that is beyond as what you're doing, right? Then they gave us the book, and the mercy by Srila Prabhupada, we read that book, and somehow or other we became transformed. All right. So we are considered very, very, very lucky. All right. So that kind of transformation start to happen. So now what we are doing is we are causing others to act. Say like after I became a devotee, I cause others because it's a nature. It's the nature that you don't do things yourself. You cause others to act with you. Yes or not? So what is the nature? I start to ask my wife to act on this. I ask my children to act on this. I ask my mother and my whole family, everybody to act on this Krishna conscious bhakti seva. All right, because that's a nature. So now I've changed my mind, I changed my heart, and I ask everybody to act on it. Similarly, if I'm a materialist, so definitely I'll tell my children, now you all must become the richest man on earth. Why not you get into some kind of business and become rich, become a millionaire, live life, build a house in a golf course with swimming pool, having this. So all this kind of inducing others to act, right? So that's what it says. False identification of the body cause one to act and cause others to act, although this is not pure soul's real constitutional position. Again, in Bhagavad Gita 18.60, it says, Svabhava jena kaunteya nibaddha svena karmana kartum nechasiyan mohat karisyasya vasho pistat. Under illusion, you are now declining to act. So Krishna is explaining, telling Arjuna, right? So under illusion, and now you are now declining to act according to my direction. But compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. All right. So it says that according to under the illusion, you're now declining to act. You're not acting according to my decision, but compelled by the work, because of that pressure of your work, born of your own nature. That means Arjuna is a Kshatriya, a warrior. That means compelled by the work, that means as a Kshatriya, you fight. You will act all the same. Okay, you don't listen to me, you don't act to me, but still, according to your nature, as a warrior, you have to fight, O son of Kunti. Regarding the bondage of the prejudice, now we are talking about the previous birth. That means the thing bondage, and that prejudice is called that creates our own nature. All right, I believe you all follow me. Do you all follow me? Do you all got the idea? If you got the idea, just put a thumbs up.
Yes.
So one is,
Yes, Prabhu.
all right, great. So now we understand that prejudice of that from the second is the ancient prejudice, means that is the experience from the previous birth, and that is what we are now. Okay, so we are under the prejudice. That means this is what creates our nature. Now, under illusion, you are not big. Okay, now let's look at it regarding the bondage of prejudice of knowledge. The Bhagavad Gita 14.6, it says, Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena bhatnati jnana sangena chanaga. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than others, is illuminating. All right? and it frees one from sinful reaction. Those who situated in that mode becomes conditioned by the sense of happiness and knowledge. Okay, so those who are in mode of goodness, it is illuminating. You see the people who are in the mode of goodness, they are somewhat glowing. There's an aura behind the head. They feel that kind of aura, and they create a very feel good kind of things, right? And their nature is always happiness. The sense is what is the conditioning for that mode of goodness is happiness and knowledge. So Srila Baladev Vidya Bhushan comments, Jnani aham sukyaham iti abhimanas tena purusham nibatnati. I am wise, I am happy. By this pride, the living entity is bound by goodness. All right. So now when we talk about the three mode of material nature, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. These three mode is under material nature. It is not a spiritual nature. All right. It's not a spiritual nature. So it's under the material nature. Okay. So that's why it says, the people who are in the mode of goodness, so what is okay, they are free from all sinful reaction because they don't want to perform any kind of sin, because in their mode is goodness, right? So Baladev Vidya Bhushan, all right, what he mentioned is, I am wise. So what are the people in the mode of goodness? What do they feel? What is the feeling of the people in the mode of goodness? They say, I am wise, I am happy. Okay. So this is considered also a pride, right? It's pride. So the living entity is bound by goodness. Bound means what? Attached. It's a kind of circle attached in goodness, right? Then after that, people's association with karma and jnana is the result of attachment born from prejudice of one's nature that produced from the past karma and jnana. In the previous verse, the Mayavadi bondage of jnana is displayed regarding the karmi. In Bhagavad Gita 3:26, Krishna says, Na buddhi pedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam jo sayet sarva karmani with one yukta samacharam. So, as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to fruitive result of prescribed duty, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities, all right, which is for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. All right, now let's look at this paragraph here. So what we understand here, okay, number one, in the previous, all right, we see that, so by the pride, so that means, okay, people associate with karma. Okay, now this is people associate with karma and jnana. Karma means activity, jnana means speculative knowledge. All right, it's the result of attachment. It's the kind of attachment that born from the prejudice of one's nature. So prejudice of nature maybe is a produced from past karma of karma and jnana. Because in previous birth, he also had that kind of prejudice. I mean, it's like work hard and also speculate. I mean, it might be coming from this Mayavadi school. All right. So that's the thing. So now in the previous verse in Mayavadi bondage, the Mayavadi's bondage in jnana is displayed in previous verse. That means tatra, okay. So tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamaya. All right. That means the being purer than other is illuminating, frees from one all sinful reaction. Right? And these are the people are always in the sense of happiness and goodness. So what Bhakti Vinod Thakur is mentioning here, right? What is mentioning here that in the previous verse, the Mayavadi bondage of jnana is displayed. That means this is what it's displayed here. You got it? So that means even the Mayavadi, it is in the they are practicing what they call meditation. They are vegetarian. They don't take onion and garlic. You know, like Buddhists don't take onion and garlic. The Mayavadis don't take onion and garlic. You know, somehow or other they are performing some kind of activity. You know, they create some kind of a footfall. I mean, they are very charitable, right? They are very charitable, and they are very sincere in their attempt and everything, right? So even though, so that means we understand the person who is in the mode of goodness is under jnana, and this is still under the bondage of material nature, because their knowledge is still bound and under the speculative stream. Okay, it is under the under the speculation. It is people are still speculating, right? Even though their understanding and knowledge is still very dangerous, all right, and still it is still they are in the mode of goodness. Are you all following me on this? Do you all understand what I mean? Who's that thumbs up? I saw someone thumbs up. Nanda Devi Mataji. How about others? All right, great. So if you don't understand, please stop me, because it's very important. Because if you understand this, you start to understand this verse of Bhagavad Gita. All right. So in Bhagavad Gita, we understand that this is the thing meant for the people who are in the mode of goodness, is basically the demigod worshippers and the Mayavadis. All right, the demigod worshippers and the Maya, because demigod worshippers also still they have mercy. They still go and do like Sri Murugan Center SMC, right? So Sri Murugan, that means they are going and giving education. You know, they're helping people, and there's Artha Jnana Vilaya, something like that. They are giving away food. You know, they are seeing, and like a Pure Life Society, what they call Mother Mangalam Society. Okay, she has passed on. She has been such a great favor to us, especially many years ago when we did start this Gita recital. So she was first to initiate that. So even though they are under the Mayavadi, and she, what she did, she has a orphanage, and she brought up the children with so much of love and care, and most of the children are very successful now. So even that's mode of goodness, right? But even they are under the wrong tattva, Mayavadi tattva. All right. So now we can still think, oh, if that's the case, how if I practice that? How if I do join them? That means it's not wrong. It is not wrong that we are under this Mayavadi tattva. Okay. Any one of you think like that? Hey, then it should be fine. I mean, what is so dangerous about it? Did any one of you thought about it? Be very frank. If yes, just put a thumbs up. Have you all had that kind of thought? All right. Okay, Chang Prabhu had that thought. All right. So thank you for being very honest. Right. So now, so now I've created a whiteboard here. Now, it is right? Sometimes we say we look at the three mode of material nature. Looks okay, looks fine. So what's the big deal, right? There's no big deal about it. So let me explain to you. Right, this is the gray. Okay, we are in this darkness of ignorance. Okay. 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 Now we are in this darkness of ignorance. This is the material nature, right? So in this darkness of ignorance, okay, I have some kind of good qualities here. This is the mode of goodness, right? Then after that, there's another quality here. Also say like, right, red color is passion. So now we are talking about, there's another thing is called mode of passion here. Okay. And the third thing is, okay, what color should I use? Yes, I'll use this blue color. Right? So now, this is mode of ignorance. Okay, mode of ignorance. So now you see, okay, I just, all right, of course, it's overlap here. Okay, I'm not going to go to the overlap. So let's just look at this goodness. Passion, ignorance. All right. So when we look at this scenario here, first we are thinking, oh, okay, being a mode of goodness, okay, what's so big deal about it? All right. So I'm a goodness, like pure life. So all these Mayavadis are performing, even like Buddhist society, they're giving free food. There's a lot of charitable work they're doing, so many things, Mayavadis and Deva worshippers, all are doing, fair enough, they are in goodness. Right? Let's not talk about passion and ignorance for now. So even the thing we are doing in the mode of goodness, all right, the situation here, when you really look at it, all right, when we really look at it, the situation here, all right, it is still inside the material nature or in the in the darkness of existence, right? Inside the material nature or inside the darkness of existence, or also we call under the Maya. So even though that we think that we are doing something great, we are doing a lot of service and all these things. So even this goodness is inside this material nature. Okay, under the spell of illusion. So there's no big deal about it. All right. And who are they? Usually they are the people who are like Mayavadi. Okay, Mayavadi and Deva worshippers. Right. So these are the people that usually under this category, even though they are doing right, but of course they are not going to get liberated from this material nature. Right? They are still under the Mayavadi. So that means they finish up. They next also. So people in the mode of goodness, like example, like a Brahmanical and all these kind of things, right? They are still inside this nature. They are still inside this darkness. Right? They are not out of it. Okay. And those in the mode of passion, the one who karma, this passion, and those in ignorance, there's some or other, maybe by good fortune, they get back a human body, and because of their previous nature, they'll accept the body accordingly. So the mode of goodness is not something very great deal. So what the Shastra is telling, let's come out of these three modes, because all these three modes, they have something, right? They have something in common. All right. What is the something they have in common? It is this. All these three modes of nature, the entire thing, right? They have one thing in common. That means they are binding. They are binding. Then another one is what? What is the word? Binding. Okay. Now I just use the word binding. So all these three modes of material, whatever things that happen, it is binding. It is not liberating. You are bound. You are bound into that particular nature. So now we have to come out of it. Right? In order to come out of it, okay. So we want to come out to this a pure nature. Okay, we want to come out to the pure nature, which is illuminating, which is okay. So now I want to come out from this into this spiritual nature. I want to come out of this spiritual nature. I want to come out from this darkness, and I want to come out. I want to get into this spiritual nature. Okay. So the spiritual. So I want to come out from this. I want to come out into the spiritual nature. So now, in order to do that, what is that most conducive environment in this material world? Say, like for instance, you are under the mode of passion. Example, if you are under this mode of passion, it is not so easy to go here. All right, it is not possible. Okay. Now, and if you are in ignorance, it also not possible. Okay. So the most conducive nature in order to achieve this perfection, to come out of this, we call it the mode of goodness. So when a person is in the mode of goodness, some or other he has a conducive nature of going to come out from this bond, this binding, all right, and come out of it to go into the spiritual nature. The person has to be in the mode of goodness. So when I have seen with my, from what I've seen, a person who are very devoted, I have seen a person who was so devoted to Lord Shiva, now became a devotee. Like I myself was a very devoted Lord Murugan Bhaktan, Lord Kartikeya, Muruga, right? And by his mercy, I got this opportunity. I have seen a person who are very devoted Christian, all right? And they got this. A person who are devoted Buddhist, or the person who have by nature, they are very spiritual. They are in some kind of movement, okay? Like Sai Baba, Brahma Kumaris. So even though they are in that kind of movement, but because of their sincerity, they are in the mode of goodness, they are the people who are very conducive to accept the spiritual nature or the spiritual understanding. But these kind of things is not possible in the mode of passion and also in the mode of ignorance. All right. So what we are trying to do here is, so as the next paragraph I will explain to you, that they say that we all from ignorance should try to go into passion. So we are in ignorance. I'm earning and I'm enjoying myself. So now what I'm doing, I'm earning the money and I am using for Krishna. That means we are upgrading from ignorance going into passion. So from passion, then once you come into the passion, you start to karmi. Passion means karmi. So you try to acquire knowledge and all this, then you start to understand, well, I cannot be like this. So somehow or other, you start to follow regulative principle. From passion, you are coming to goodness. So from goodness, you know what will happen? From here, it is a very conducive environment that from here, you can straightaway jump into the spiritual nature. All right. So in order, the bridge between that, the three act is the goodness that is easily can take you to the spiritual nature. So now, do you get what I'm saying? Do you understand? Thumbs up or say yes?
Yes.
All right. Cham Prabhu, now you got it, huh? Okay, somebody's thumbs up. All right, K7, good. All right. So that's the thing. So that is what it's meant by migrating from one nature to another nature. All right. So now it's 9:53. Shall we just take a short break? Okay. We just take 2 or 3 minutes break, then we come back. Hare Krishna. Okay. So now we have understood about the what they call the mode, right? So that's what it says here. We understand from here. Okay. The understanding. Okay. The understanding is, so it's produced by karma. In the previous verse, the Mayavadi bondage of jnana is displayed. Regarding the karmis, now let's talk about karmis. All right. So first we talk about karmi and jnani and this thing. In Bhagavad Gita 3:26, Krishna says, "Na buddhi bedam janayet anyanam karma sanginam josayet sarva karmani vidwan yukta samacharam," as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men, as not to disrupt, right, the minds of an ignorant man attached to fruitive act result. That means not to disrupt them, because their mind is minds of ignorant. That means the person are very ignorant and they are very attached to fruitive work. All right, they have business and everything. You know, they want fruits. Let's not disrupt them. All right, fruitive work of prescribed duty. A learned person should not induce them to stop work. That means we shouldn't go and tell the person now give up everything and become a full-time devotee. You know, so we should not do that. Okay, we should not induce them to stop work. Rather, we should encourage, by working in the spirit of devotion, we should engage them in all sorts of activities. All right. So what we should encourage them is like this. That is, well, okay, Prabhu, I'm so attached. You know, I want to make some big money. I want to do this. I want to venture. Okay, go ahead. Just carry on doing it. But can you just do your work and engage all sorts? I mean, right? Can you just work in spirit of devotion? All right. So anything, any profit that you get, you just close your eyes and just say, thanks, Krishna. Right? By the mercy of Krishna, I'm getting this. Okay, whatever salary that you get end of the month, can you just take the salary and offer to the Lord? Okay, and take some and offer it to the devotees, or for the propagation of Krishna consciousness as a donation. Then, so once we say, then they start to understand, well, of course, once I've offered this to Krishna, my entire salary has turned into prashadam. Prashadam means mercy. Therefore, I should not use this money for sense gratification. I should not take this money and to go drink beer. Ayo, how lah? I've already given. I withdraw the money. Oh my God, this money is it's already offered to Krishna. It is already sanctified. So I shouldn't use it to go and have fun, right? So we should engage them. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita very nicely. Don't ask them to stop work, but he should engage them in all sorts of activity for the what? Gradual development of Krishna consciousness. So gradually that person, Krishna consciousness will develop. So now, from the ancient prejudice, right? One develops association with karma and jnana. So we understand this. So from the ancient prejudice, that means all the things activity you're doing now, because it's something that preconceived idea from our previous birth, right? So association with this ancient prejudice is inevitable. All right. So that means we can't avoid this kind of ancient prejudice, because it's that means you're created in that way, right? Despite all attempt up to suicide, right? Despite all attempts up to suicide, one cannot give up one's prejudice, right? So despite all attempts, that means despite all kind of attempts, all right, and even can go up to committing suicide, one cannot give up one's prejudices, right? The prejudice or attachment for good and bad attained in this life due to association with so-called modern prejudices, right? The prejudices or attachment for good and bad attained in this life due to association are called modern prejudice. You all understand what I'm saying? So that means the prejudices or attachment for good. That means now I'm trying to attach to good, or I'm attaching to the bad. In this life, in this current life, it is due to association as called modern prejudice. That means the current prejudice. One is ancient, second is modern. Ancient is something that you're born with. But now, with that ancient thought, that means from previous birth thought, that means now I'm acting accordingly. It is called the modern prejudices. So everyone in the world are under the control of these two kinds of prejudices. They are under control. Okay, they are under the control of these two kinds of prejudices. When a living entity is bound by Maya, then when the living entity when the living entity is not bound by Maya, then by nature is a servant of Krishna. Now let's look at this. Are you all servant of Krishna? Okay, I believe yes. Right? Even that you are really prepared to serve Krishna, or you are in preparation to serve Krishna, or at least the thought of serving Krishna. All right? You are somehow or other trying to extract yourself out of Maya. Okay? He's by nature a servant of Krishna. So that's why we say, like in the modern term, we say, fake it till you make it. Right? You fake it till you make it. Similarly, you fake it as a devotee until you become a pure devotee of the Lord. Right? So why not? Everything is nature. Everything is Krishna's energy. Faking is Krishna's energy. Cheating is Krishna's energy. Everything is his energy. So why not we fake it? Why we are faking it? Because we can't do it. Example, I want to be a millionaire, but I can't do it. So I fake it myself to be a millionaire, not to cheat. What I mean, let me start to dress up with coat and all these things, act like that, right? I remember during my college time, I was in business college. I used to go to college with coat and suit, right? So people used to laugh at me. I used to bring motorbike, park, and I used to wear my coat. And people laugh at me, what you crazy fellow, what are you trying to do, So once a week, I make sure that especially on the title of, what is the title? Under the business acumen or business management, there's one particular class, I dress up. And people laugh at me. And I look at them, I say, well, I am dressing up like this because we are in business school. And I'm going to be a businessman soon in the future. That's why I'm dressing up like a businessman in coat, suit, tie, and everything. And somehow right on motorbike, Then after that, I also sarcastically will tell them, one day, all of you will become my employee. So like that. So you fake it, right? Until you make it. So now you try your best to be a Krishna conscious person. If you can't, try to act on it. Okay, try to take the japa mala and start chanting 16 rounds, right? But you cannot concentrate. It's okay, fake it. I know if I chant 16 rounds, I'm on my way to pure devotee. But when I chant, I'm lured by Facebook. By chanting, I'm lured by some kind of a thing or breaking news. Oh, by chanting, I'm looking here, looking there. By chanting, I get carried away with something else, right? It's okay. Doesn't matter at all. Just chant. Right? Whether you're faking it or what, just chant. Eventually, the Nama Prabhu will come and overtake you. All right? You're faking it. You're fake until the faking will become reality. I think there's a Buddhist teaching, right? If you tell a lie 1,000 times, it will become mantra. All right? If you tell a lie 1,000 or 10,000 times, if I'm not mistaken, it will become mantra. All right? It becomes the reality. So like that. So go on faking it. So that means we all trying to do that. Okay. Now, being bound by Maya. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is by being bound with Maya. A living entity cannot give up ancient and modern wicked prejudices because we are under Maya, under illusion, right? We cannot give up. At that time, ancient wicked prejudice become his second nature, right? So all the previous experience that we have will become our second nature. So now, how to come out of it? Is there any way I can do it? Is there any other situation that I have? So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is telling, only sadhu sangha, association of a devotee can reform the attachment of prejudices, right? So now our previous nature is our previous birth and all these things has become our second nature. Our first nature is the current prejudices, good or bad, according to the association, according to the body we take, right? According to the body we take, it all depends. Okay, I've taken the body of an Indian. So that means I have my prejudices according to my nature. All right, like Gusan Chang Mataji, she's in the body of a Chinese. So she has a prejudices according to her nature of a Chinese, right? If someone else, all different kind of people have different nature according to the ancient prejudices. Remember this, ancient prejudices. That means ancient attachment, understanding, misconception. It's a second nature. But now the current nature, after I take birth as born as an Indian or a Chinese or a Malay or Malaysian, so I have that modern prejudices. That is my first nature, right? Do you all get my point? If you don't understand, please ask. I'll explain again. If you get a point, please thumbs up so I can know that you all are following me. Oh, nobody understood. Okay, someone understood. How about others? Rusan Mataji, do you understand?
Yeah, you mean we got two kinds of nature, right? One is anxious, one is current. That so we can become current, can be anxious.
Okay, now let's talk about ancient prejudice. What do you understand on that?
Last part that we are born our nature.
Okay, experiences lah. Our previous birth experience, okay? That becomes your first or second nature?
First.
No, the second nature. Our previous birth activity become our second nature. So what is that previous birth activity? The second nature, like karma and jnana, speculative knowledge, and also material desires. Okay, Mataji, that's your second nature. You got it? Because the previous birth is inbuilt, it is from inside. That means naturally, suddenly you feel like being a business person. Naturally, you want to feel like go into kind of speculative knowledge. All your previous experience, you are carrying it with you. That is inside you. And where the nature is there? The nature is in which body? Subtle or gross?
Subtle.
Very good. Fantastic. It is in subtle body, right? Because mind, intelligence, ego is there. Taken up the experience, will give you that experience when required. So it's second nature. And what is your first nature? Is current. I'm a Chinese. I'm an Indian. So I act according to my current nature. That is your first nature. You got it?
Okay. Yeah.
So the current nature is called the modern prejudice.
Oh, so means your anxious and your current also your into your subtle body.
Yes, your current nature also can be, yes, all in subtle body.
Okay.
Because your gross body actually is not functioning at all. Because your gross body only take instruction. When your mind says do this, you do that. Right? When your mind says, your eyes says something, so actually the whole gross body is controlled by subtle body. Remember that verse that we saw just now? Okay. What it says here?
Which word?
Eliminating, okay. Okay, let's look at this verse here. Okay, I just delete all these things. Okay, what is this verse here? So this is the verse that we have discussed just now, right? So it says that na kartvam na karmani. Na means no. Na kartritvam na karmani. No kartritvam, no karmani, no action. Lokasya srijati prabhu na karma. No karma, pala. Pala means the fruit. Samyogam swabhavastu pravantati. That means it says, okay, let me just delete this also. So what Krishna says in this verse is the embodied spirit, or embodied spirit means soul. That means we are embodied soul, spirit soul, because we are staying in the body, right? So what happened? We are the master of the city of his body. That means you are the master of your body and I'm master of my body. Yes or not? I can decide. I suddenly feel like I'm not happy. I just can take the knife and cut my hand. All right? Because I'm the master, I can do whatever I want. All right? So now the embodied spirit, which is the master of the body, he does not create activities. He does not create any activities. First of all, you understand this, Mataji?
Yeah.
So as a master, I don't create. That means this gross value, I don't create any activities. No means no. Does he induce people to act? No. Does he create the fruits of action? He doesn't create all the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature, right? So what is that mode of material nature? When we see the mode of goodness, we can accept the mode of goodness because of our ancient prejudice, our previous birth activity karma. So somewhere or other suddenly we think, hey, looks good, you know, or bad or good, it's all from ancient prejudice. So we are not created. That means the body, that means the gross body is actually not really functioning. It's only it's acting just like a car. Your car is not functioning by itself. Your car is a dead matter. But you go into the car and start the engine, and you have a choice whether you can drive the car very fast, or you can drive the car very slow, or recklessly, or carefully. It's all on your own decision. But the car simply follow per instruction of you. When you put a right signal, when you just click the thing, it will just automatically, the signal will be on. Okay, so that is our previous birth prejudice. That's the second nature. The first nature is now what the thing that I'm accepting. Example, like for instance, now your second nature is you have your own belief system. You know, like I remember last time you said, you know, in the class, I think in Gita Gyan class, when we talk about KTM, Kuda Toto Magnum. And I remember you said, for Chinese, if they don't gamble, cannot, because Chinese culture is gambling. Remember you tell that?
Yeah.
Yeah, second nature. Your second nature from your previous distinct says the Chinese, that means that it says gambling is, sorry, your, okay, again, let me say, you say the Chinese must gamble. So that is your first nature. That means the nature because you have taken the body of a Chinese. Right? So once you have taken the body of a Chinese, the modern prejudice, let me say, well, I have taken a body of a Chinese. So gambling is my nature. I must gamble. You got it? Right. What happens if you have taken an Indian body? Your prejudice is totally different. You know, your prejudice is totally different. That means you say, well, gambling is not my cup of tea, right? But other things, right? Like maybe buying gold. Indian love to buy gold. They say, why waste your money buying this is what they call gamble. I rather take the money and save up the money in the Kutu system. The Kutu system means all the 10 people get together, they save the money. All right, and they okay, who take the money first? Say like for instance, all right, I just imagine an example. Say you gamble 1,000 ringgit a month. 1,000 ringgit you buy KTM, Kuda Toko Magnum, because you are in Chinese body. But now you have taken an Indian body. So what do you do? Okay, from that 1,000, I think I don't dare to play that number because I'm in my nature is Indian nature. I cannot strike money. So what I do, I create the Kutu system. So 10 people get together. Okay, everybody put 1,000. I take the first 1,000. That means when all the people gather, I'll get the first 10,000. So what I do, I straight away go to the goldsmith and buy gold. Then after that, every month I just pay 1,000 installment. Then again, next round, I start the Kutu system, I take. So when you come into the Indian body, your prejudice is like that you are buying gold, it become your nature. So that is your first nature. You got it?
Yeah.
But your second nature is something that you came from your previous birth. Maybe in your previous birth, you should have some kind of spirituality, you can have some kind of knowledge and everything. So some or other in this birth, you more into like spiritual life. You know, you went into this movement, you went into that movement, right? And you are a Buddhist. No, all this kind of situation you came, and now you are in Hare Krishna. Okay, because you are endeavoring for a real knowledge. So that is something, your second nature that you've been accumulated from your previous birth. So we understand this. Okay, Mataji?
Wow, means we are included a lot of previous and current mixture in our subtle body, right? You mean we have been a lot, isn't it?
Yes.
Wow.
But another thing happened. So what happened? Only Sadhu Sangha can reform the attachment of prejudice. So when you talk about Sadhu Sangha, when you became the devotee association, so how the thing transformed? Example like what you have experienced that day in Gora Purnima, right? Gora Purnima. You the way you dance, you know,
No.
the way you dance was truly amazing. So are you on your first nature or second nature? You are neither. You are not as your first nature as a Chinese. You are not a second nature of your previous belief system. But you are here at the third nature. That is called the transcendental nature. So now that's what we are going to talk about. What is that nature? How are we going to come out of it? And that thing only happened through Sadhu Sangha. So Sadhu Sangha can reform the attachment of prejudice. Sadhu Sangha can reform your previous birth belief system or your current birth belief system. It can reform. So Sadhu Sangha is the only remedy for the disease. Unless one reforms his attachment to prejudice, one cannot attain perfection in devotional service, right? By any means. So that means unless one perform his attachment. So that means unless one reform. Reform means what? Change, reformation. You are changing. And what kind of reform? Why not we use the word change? But what is reformation? Reformation means changing with strong intention, right? Okay, I think this country need to change. The political system had to change. That's this thing. But what is reformation? That means I'm die hard. I'm really going to go to the street, protest, and some or other, we want to create this kind of reformation. Like what, the blackout and all this kind of reformation happened, Versailles. That is called reformation. That means it is going to be a very, very aggressive way of changing things. Aggressive changes, right? Because I was with them before, almost to get wrecked. Anyway, it's some of the crazy things I've done in my life. So that kind of things, reformation. So you have to reform. So the reformation, that means what is reformation? Reform, that means changes with aggressive changes. That means aggressively you want to change, right? So unless one reforms his attachment to prejudice, one cannot attain perfection. So in devotional service by any means. So that means we have to create this kind of reformation changes in our life because we are in great desire of achieving prema bhakti in this very birth itself. Let's not wait for another round of birth. Right? It is not worthy. If you have a chance, why not? Right? Don't think, oh, it's going to take a lifetime of practice. Krishna never said that. And when Prabhupada asked, that disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, how long a person takes to go back home, back to Godhead? And Srila Prabhupada says, at that moment, he make the decision to surrender to Krishna, is already liberated. And after that, when he start to perform his devotional service in full conviction, that's a second qualification. Performing devotional service, full conviction. What do you call that? In the yoga ladder, can anyone tell me? First is sadhu sangha, anartha nivritti. Then what is the third one? Firm conviction. Anyone remember? In the yoga ladder?
Nishta.
Very good. Fantastic, Prabhu. Nishta. Nishta means firm conviction. Yes, I am very convinced. All right. I'm very convinced. All right. That I can go back home. I'm very convinced with this path. Okay. And number three, how to do it? First, you got the conviction. Now, what is the thing? The confidence and everything. So, what is the next thing? Patient, dhairya. All right. And how to be patient? Right. Of course, within you, you have that burning desire, but outwardly, you remain calm. And how to do it? Being patient. Go step by step. Because, if I step by step, I'm going to take long time. Now only I'm chanting 16 rounds or struggling 8 rounds. I'm going to chant 16 rounds. I don't know when I'm going to get this kind of opportunity to chant 16 rounds. Or when can I have the time to cook and offer to Krishna, take prasadam? Do not worry. Because once you have surrendered to Krishna, you don't have a past, you don't have a future. Every single day is the day of performing devotional service. Krishna will tell you how to do it. If you have the desire, Krishna will fulfill the desire. Not only Krishna, all the devas, Lord Shiva, everyone. They'll be very happy to bless you abundantly with pure devotional service. Right? So, after the firm conviction, okay, now how to, okay, already I've got a firm conviction. First, through sadhu sangha, I got firm, I was convinced and I got firm conviction. Now, what is the next step? First, association with the devotee, you are very convinced. All right, all your anartha nivritti, all unwanted things, all different. You come to the level of nishta. That means you're firmly convinced. So, what is the third step? The important step. Surrender to that devotee and become his servant. All right, first, association with devotee. You come to this nishta, and the next level is to surrender to the devotee of the Lord and serve him. Right? And that is now sadhu sangha, but this is you are accepting a spiritual master. You are accepting like Srila Prabhupada, our eminent spiritual master. Then you have to accept a person, a spiritual master in a human form, who can give you a direct initiation, who have a direct connection with you. Right? So you have to surrender to that spiritual master and start to serve that spiritual master. You know what? After you surrender to the spiritual master, you have no worries at all. You can engage in your devotional service carefree. Carefree means what? Will I born again? Will I be come back again? All that you don't need to worry. All right? Because accepting a spiritual master is giving a conviction. He's giving his commitment. You surrender to me, I will take you back. If you don't make it, I will come back again and I will definitely take you back. Right? But we don't allow our spiritual master to come back again. We have to practice our sadhana very strongly. Right? So, if the spiritual master wants to come back, you think Krishna will be very pleased? Oh, you want to go back again and suffer again? No. Because the spiritual master every day pray to Krishna, my dear Lord, please make all my disciples a pure devotee of your lotus feet. I brought them to offer to you. Please accept them. Please guide them. Like that. So we have to surrender to the spiritual master. So that means, that's the thing. So devotional service by any means. That means we have to associate devotee, we become detached from all these, we reform our prejudice, all varieties of prejudice. Then from there, so once we come to the level, so there's only remedy, then we can attain the perfection devotional service by, after that, we surrender to the spiritual master. And by the mercy of spiritual master, it is, we are on our way back home, back to God. We have no worries. Okay. So as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, okay. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, 23, Text 55. Sangoya samstrir hetu asatsu vihito diya sa eva sadhushu kritto nishangatvaya kalpate. Association for sense gratification. I mean, association for sense gratification is certainly path of bondage. It's definitely going to bond you. But at the same time, association, the same type of association perform with saintly person. All right, but the same kind of association you perform with saintly person leads to the path of liberation, even if performed without knowledge. What does that mean? Now I'm going to have a party in my house. I'm going to cook and I'm going to invite everyone to come and have fun with me, have party. Everybody eat and enjoy. That kind of activity creates bondage. But the same party, you do it on Sunday. You come to the Sunday, right? The same thing. Okay, Sunday love feast. You join with the association of devotee, right? You have party. You dance, you sing, then you feast. Right? But here you're doing it with the saintly person. Okay, with devotees. So these things will lead to the path of liberation. Even you're doing it unknowingly. Even you're doing it for the sense of party. Okay, this week I can't afford to go for party. Because say you're a party addict. There's people are like that, party addict. Oh, this week cannot go to disco. Cannot go have party, cannot eat, oh, no money. Then suddenly come and tell, hey, come, why not come and join us on Sunday? Sunday love feast. What does that mean? We're going to have a lot of dancing. We got a lot of singing, right? With live music. Then after that, fantastic feasting. Oh, really? Can I come? Please be my guest. Come. And he comes. You start to see, hey, what kind of people are these? Right? They are dancing. And they got live music. They're banging the drum and crushing the katal, the gong, boom, boom, boom. What is this? And you start to see, wow. Then after everything over, now time to eat, feast. It's not eating, not dinner or breakfast or lunch. It is a feast. Virundu. Then they come and say, okay, why are you eating so little? Eat more. Can I? But I thought I'm just, no, don't worry. Here we have cooked in abundance. Eat till your neck, eat till you faint. Right? Can I? Come, let me help you. Then what happened? Even you're doing it unknowingly, but that will also bring a lot of benefit. So due to association with materialistic people, the living entity is bound in the cycle of birth and death. Okay, that's why in the previous verses, Bhakti Vinod Thakur keep warning. Even Rupa Goswami also warning. Do not associate with materialistic people because it is bound to cycle in birth and death. Even if one unknowingly associates with materialists, even unknowingly, the result must come. Okay, the result must come, right? So we have to be very careful. And if the unknowingly associate with real sadhu, but if one unknowingly associate with real sadhu, he attains freedom from material association. Again, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 12, Text 1 and 2, it says, No rodayati mang yogo na sankyam dharma evacha na swadhyayas tapustyago nishta purtam na dakshinaha pratani yaknas chandangsi tirtani niyamayama yata varunde satsanga sarva sango pahuhimam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead says, my dear Uddhava, Krishna is saying, that means Krishna is speaking to Uddhava. And here they call Uddhava Gita. By associating with my pure devotee, one can destroy one's attachment for all object of material sense gratification. That's the first thing that Krishna says, right? So Lord Krishna is explaining to Uddhava. He says, associating with my pure devotee, one can destroy one's attachment for all object of material sense gratification. Okay. Then such purifying association brings me under the control of my devotee. So what Krishna says here, right? Such purifying association. Krishna says what? Those who associate with my devotee, want to destroy attachment to sense object, sense enjoyment. But through that purifying association, I mean, when you purify, what Krishna says, brings me under the control. So brings me under the control of my devotees. Can you imagine? Krishna will be under your control. In which form of religion it teaches you that you can control God. In all Abrahamic religion, they say fear God. One says as a slave of God. Another religious movement says I am the servant of God. Okay, I'm not sure about what other thing. Okay, so this is the thing, and they always have to say, oh, we have to fear God. God is an old man. God is this. God is a punisher. If you don't surrender to Him, you stay in hell forever. If you surrender to Him, everything is taken care. All these kind of things. So all the religious practice, you can check it out, but only in our Gaudiya Vaishnavism or the teachings from Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna said it very clearly. Vrattani yatnas chandangsi, tirtani niyama yama, yata varundini sat sangha, sarva sangha paho himam. Sarva sangha paho himam. He can bring me, himam. He can bring me under his control. Can you imagine? But how to do it? Oh, don't think, hey, Krishna, now you're under my control. Listen to me, you're my servant. It's too early, right? Wants to become a pure devotee and associate with them. You can, Krishna says, it brings me under the control of my devotee. That's why Krishna loves his devotee so much. That's why Nama Prabhu is very sensitive. You offend a devotee, Nama Prabhu will just go away from you. It will destroy the creeper of bhakti, right? So one may perform Astanga Yoga system, engage in philosophical analysis, Jnana Yoga, of the element of material nature, practice non-violence, how I say ahimsa, we practice non-violence, or other ordinary principle of piety, or even chant the Vedas, perform penance, or good like Himalayas, go and this thing, or take to the renounced order of life, or even become sannyasi, execute sacrificial performance, all right? They perform all kind of sacrifice, fire sacrifice for all the good things, and even they dig well. You know, digging well is something very good. That's why you see, like those days, all the rich people, how they spend the money, charity for people, they go and look for a land. They find out if there's a undercurrent, they will spend their money to dig a well. When you dig a well for the benefit of everyone, it gets a lot of piety. Punyam, in Tamil we call punyam, right? Perform like dig the well, or even plant trees, or perform other public welfare activities. Then give in charity, all the money give in charity, all right? Like this fund, another Krishnan fund, that fund, this fund, give charity, or carry out severe vows, or sometimes follow the severe vows. Okay, like vows like Mauna Vrata, or going to like Ayyappan, like Swami Ayyappan, 40 days of severe fasting, right? Or this can even carry out some severe vows, right? And or worship of the demigods, chant confidential mantras. Some mantras are confidential. They got the mantra. Oh, they can chant the mantra. Even they can visit the holy places, or even they can accept major and minor disciplinary injunction. So they can come. Okay, like major discipline, right? Even they can do that. But even okay, but Krishna says, but even by performing such activities, one does not bring me under his control. Look at that, right? No rodayati mam yogo, na sankyam. That means speculative knowledge. Mam yoga means mystic yoga. Na sankyam. What they call Astanga yoga. Dharma, performing dharma, religiosity. Swadhyaya tapa. Tapos Tyago. That means they do severe austerity and Tyago, sacrifice. Neshta Purtam na Dakshana, giving a lot of money in charity. Pratani, Yaknas Chandangsi. Tirtani, digging well. Niyama Yama. Yata Varande Satsanga. All they can do, all they can go to the holy place, they can go to Mayapur, everything. Sarva Sango Paha Ima. Even all the activities that person can think he can do, even performing such activity, even they do this kind of things, one does not bring me under his control. Okay, got it? You cannot bring Krishna, or I mean, in other words, he doesn't pleases Krishna. Right? So, like for instance, Krishna is under control of Radharani. Yes or not? Radharani say this, he followed her, sometimes they quarrel. Why? Because Radharani is the purest of pure devotee. She conquered him with love. Like that, all the devotees, disciples, all the devotees of Krishna, right? When they are in so much of love, I mean, they don't have any other things. Oh, Krishna, I bring you under my control. Okay? I want this, I want that. He doesn't ask that. He just being very excited as a servant of the Lord, right? So he says, okay, association with prejudice. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining association with prejudice, right? With prejudice is very dangerous. That means the old prejudice and modern prejudice. But affectionately associating with pure devotee of the Lord, once associated with prejudice in the form of karma and jnana is destroyed. Okay? Due to this association with prejudice, a living entity propensity of ignorance and passion becomes stronger. How? Through the association of prejudice. The living entities, ignorance and passion become even stronger, right? When whatever propensity for goodness, whatever things the propensity, that means say for goodness, passion and ignorance are seen in the people's eating, sleeping and sensual activities are all due to associated prejudices, right? So that means whatever propensity, whatever character that we see, whether the person is in the mode of goodness, mode of passion, ignorance, okay, they are all seen, all of them have something very common, right? That means that people who are mode of goodness, people in the mode of passion, people in the mode of ignorance. Of course, they have a different characteristic. But all of them got one thing in common. And what is that one thing in common? They are eating, they sleep, they have sensual activities, and eating, sleeping, sensual activity. Okay, they have these three things. Right? Even the person in the mode of goodness and everything, they also eat, they also sleep, they also have some kind of sense activity. They also have something to pleasure. Right? In the mode of passion, also the same thing. They also sleep, they also eat, they also have sense pleasure. And the people in the mode of ignorance, still they also eat, they also sleep, and they also have the activities. Right? So all these things are due to association of prejudice. So karmis and jnanis. So bhakti, karmis and jnanis disrespect Vaishnava. These people disrespect Vaishnava only due to the attachment of the prejudices. So when you see someone that disrespect Vaishnava, especially, we understand that all these things is because of their prejudices. Okay? Prejudices of the ancient prejudice and the modern prejudice. Okay? Like for instance, sometimes when I was young time, I used to go for some collection, some kind of a charity. See, they ask, why you got nothing else to do? Why can't you go and get a job? Why going around asking for money? Why can't you go and get a job? So they disrespect you. Because of what? Because they are in that current prejudice that they are very successful, they are very rich, they have everything, and they find it so disgusting to see people in the name of religion going around asking money. Right? And they find it, I have to work so hard for money, but these people simply come and ask money. How can that be? So they disrespect the Vaishnava. That's what I meant. All right. So disrespect Vaishnava only due to the attachment of the prejudices. I hope you understand this. Right? Now, until one's attachment to prejudice is destroyed, prejudice is destroyed, the 10 offenses in chanting will not be uprooted. Now let's see where Bhaktivinoda Thakur is coming. So the 10 offenses of chanting, it will not be uprooted. Okay, the 10 offenses of chanting, you cannot uproot if we still are in the ancient and the current prejudice. All right. So what is that? Offenses at the feet of sadhu are due to being proud of one's karma and jnana. So what are the 10 offenses? Let's look at this. Okay. The first one. Okay. Offenses at the feet of the sadhu is due to being proud of one's own karma and jnana. Please underline this statement in your book. Offenses at the feet of sadhu or pure devotee, offend at pure devotee, right? Due to being proud of one's own karma and jnana. That means being proud of one's success and knowledge. So because of that, they disrespect, offend the devotees. The offense in the chanting in the form of blaspheming, right? Now, the offenses in the chanting of the form of blaspheming devotees enters the heart of non-devotee and takes up residence there. That means, in other words, the offense in the chanting in the form of blaspheming. The offense, first offense is blaspheming the devotee who dedicate themselves for the propagating of Krishna conscious movement. All right, the offense. The chanting in the form of blasphemy. When you blaspheme a devotee, right, that blasphemy will enter the heart of a non-devotee and stays there. Right? So therefore, worldly attachment is contrary. So that means the worldly attachment is contrary to acceptance of Krishna's undisputed supremacy. That means the worldly attachment is opposite to accepting Krishna's undisputed supremacy. Right? They cannot accept Krishna's supremacy because it's opposite of worldly attachment and therefore does not allow the unfortunate living entity to fully surrender to the Lord. So that will make the unfortunate living entities not to surrender at the Lord. Thus, another thing, disobeying the spiritual master, blaspheming the Vedic literature, interpreting the holy name, considering the let me do it again. Okay, so what are the offenses? Okay, number one, first thing is disobeying the spiritual master. All right, first thing is disobeying the spiritual master. When your spiritual master says something, you don't follow. All right, that's disobeying the spiritual master. All right, then second is blaspheming the Vedic literature. All right, make fun of the Vedic. I mean, Vedic literature is something like sometimes they say it's written by human. All right, it's kind of blaspheme of Vedic literature. Number three, interpreting the holy name. The holy name is very straightforward meaning, but you simply interpret, all right, just to show some kind of scholarship. It's offense. Then the next offense, considering the okay. So now is considering the chanting of the holy name as equal to pious activity offered in the Vedas. That's something very dangerous. Oh, I chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra because it is what they call, it is equal to some pious activity. Oh, I'm doing a lot of good things. Okay, I also chant Hare Krishna just for the sake of it. Just this thing. It's offense. All right. I hope you all underline this statement. First, disobey the spiritual master. First offense. Number two is interpret the holy. Blaspheme the Vedic literature. Number three, interpret the holy name. Number four, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is just like another ritual, right? Number five, committing sinful activities while pretending to chant the holy name, right? We know that chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra can remove all the sin. So then I go and do the sin, then after I chant Hare Krishna just to get rid of the sin, right? That's a offense. Then aversion due to conception of I and mine, right? I and mine. That means he said that still you cannot understand after all this. That means still have that ideology, I and mine. That means your I and mine means what? Materially attached. That means false ego is there, right? Now, selling the holy name to unfit person. All right, selling the holy name. Okay, then we see a person who are not fit, and we are trying to go and explain to them the message of that holy name. Okay, so chant. Okay, all that are considered offense. So all these offenses against the holy name continues. In such condition, how can one benefit it? So all these offenses against the holy name. But now the question is like this. Now, disobeying the I don't have a spiritual master. All right. Or say if I disobey. All right. Then blaspheme the Vedic literature. I don't want to agree with all the Vedas, but I think I prefer to chant. Okay, interpret the holy name. Right? No, holy name is like that, like that interpreted. Considering chanting the holy name as one of the pious. So all of us are actually starting our path through these offenses. Okay, we are trying. So this is called offensive state. So when we are under the offensive state, that means I still cannot agree, I and mine. Oh, this is mine, and I am this. I am this, and this is mine. I still can't get rid of that thought from my mind. Right? But I'm still chanting Hare Krishna. It's okay. Because all of us starting in a very offensive way. We all start in a very offensive. But as we gradually, when we chant Hare Krishna, when Nama Prabhu start dancing in your tongue, some or other, you'll come to the realization. It will purify you, right? It's just like how we are having a jaundice. Our tongue will be very bitter. So we take, the only remedy for that is to take what they call honey or anything very sweet, right? Rock sugar. When you melt the rock sugar, you take the syrup and put in your tongue, it feels very bitter. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to take it, because the only cure is that syrup. So you keep drinking and drinking and drinking without you knowing the syrup will start working, and eventually you'll come to the nectarian taste of the syrup. So you just go on chanting and chanting, and this is called Namabas. First is offensive, Nama Prat. Second is Namabas. Namabas means you're coming to the level of clearance. You're clearing it. You're clearing all by one, you're clearing all the offenses, right? Then that third, you come to Suddhana, the pure name, right? That's a 3 process. Now, under Namabas, so you can, everything is okay. You still manageable and everything. But only thing suggest, I'm humbly asking you, do not offend a devotee. Even the devotee is faulty, the devotee has fault, the devotee has some kind of misbehavior. That's what we say. We have 3 types of devotee: Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. So in this current material situation, 90% are around this Kanishta. So we humbly offer obeisances through our mind. Don't try to get connected with them. If you are some or other connected and the person is doing this, like sometimes like hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is very common. Here talk something and there do something. Oh, I am doing anything. I am very detached. But next day they skin it. I did all this seva. Why my name is not mentioned? When you are detached, means you are detached. But next day you come and ask, oh, I did this. Why my name is not mentioned? So all this kind of thing. So this hypocrisy is there. When we come to there, okay, I'm so sorry, Prabhu Mataji. Let me get it done for you. Never offense. Don't do dosa kirtan. This Mataji, too much, That day only said, I am detached. And after that, she came and quarreled with me, asking me, demanding why my name is not mentioned. Why I'm not this. Only I did everything. I do this. I do that. Everything is I. Right? Why? So like that. So we don't do dosa kirtan. When we encounter that kind of situation, we just humbly try to digest it. We just go on chanting Hare Krishna. We just ignore it. Be immune to blaspheme. All right? That's the most important part. Okay. So now, therefore, it is said in where? All these offenses, how can one be? But therefore, it is said, Asadbi sahasangastu na kartavya kadachana yasmat savarta hanisyat adapatascha jayate. One should never associate with materialistic person. Right? When you associate with materialistic person, or for by doing so, one's asset all lost and he'll fall from his position. Right? Sometimes when you have any issues with whatever it is, try to discuss among the devotees and try to finish it off there. Don't go outside and do dosa kirtan, and don't associate with non-devotees, because they only can give you wrong advice. It has been seen that many fortunate souls have given up attachment. It has been seen that many fortunate souls have given up attachment for prejudices by the association of pure Vaishnava. We have seen it. So many people, they have given up all the ancient prejudice and the modern current prejudice just through the association of Vaishnava. All right. So from the scripture is well known that by the association of Sri Narada. So from the scripture example, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is quoting the well known by association of Sri Narada. That means through the association of Sri Narada Muni, the hunter Nirgari and Ratnakara or Valmiki attain auspiciousness. Right? So what does that mean? See, there was one called Mrigari. Mrigari is a hunter. And what he called Mrigari means what? The one who sees suffering, love to see suffering. So this Mrigari will hunt the animal half kill. I mean, say like for instance, when you want to shoot a deer, it will shoot at the back of the deer, and the deer will be like struggling. And he's looking at it, he loves to see the fur dying slowly. He doesn't want to kill straight to the neck or the throat. He just wants to see the fur struggling. So like that, he's been hunting everything, all keeping them half alive. And all of them were like struggling to die and live. And Mrigari taking so much of pleasure. So, and when Narada Muni came, Devarishi Narada came to that. Devarishi Narada is a pure devotee of Krishna. He's called a celestial Rishi. He came. He was thinking, why all the animals are half dead and all are suffering? Then after that, he went and saw Mrigari. He said, what are you doing? You should kill them on shot. Why are you keeping them half dead? Huh? And through his instruction, Mrigari became a pure devotee of the Lord. When he said, I am a distinct. So first, I mean, it's a long story, but the conclusion is, Narada Muni says, break your bow and break your arrow, throw everything away, and start to practice Hari Bhajan, Hari Kirtan. Don't worry, Krishna will supply grains to you for food. Because say, how am I supposed to live? If I give up everything, if I hunt only, I can eat. If I don't hunt, but don't worry, Krishna will provide. And now he went to the level, even do not want to kill even an ant. Even an ant, he doesn't want to kill. And he sit in one place, he just done Hare Krishna, just doing bhajan with his wife. Suddenly, the people around that village, they start to hear that Mrigari has turned, he became a big sadhu, and all of them start giving so much of grains until he couldn't handle it. Until he need to give it away, he said, enough, enough. I said, no, Maharaj, no, Prabhu, you are such a great devotee of the Lord. Please accept my offering. If you don't take my offering, I feel very disheartened. And I feel that Krishna has rejected my offering. Oh my God, okay, give la. They take, but it's so much. He doesn't know what to do. You know, so like that. So Mrigari, that's one example. A hunter became a devotee. And second is Ratnakara. Ratnakara, or he got another name of Valmiki. All right. He's a bandit. He's a bandit means what? He always he's a land pirate. All right. Whenever a group of people going, he just go and rob them. You know, the caravan, the big caravan will be traveling because it stays in the forest. He just go and you kill everybody and take all their property and everything. He's a bandit, right? Ratnakara. And one day he was associated, some other day he got connected with Sri Narada Muni, and Narada Muni initiated him. Then after that, he became a great devotee and he wrote Ramayana. Who is that? Valmiki Muni. I think you all know who is Valmiki. Valmiki Ramayana. That's Ramayana, they call Valmiki Ramayana. Until he couldn't utter the word Rama. Right? He said, now I want you to write the word Rama. The glories of Lord Ram. I want you to write. He couldn't even pronounce the word Rama. He was so sinful, he couldn't even pronounce the word Rama. You know? Then Narada says, never mind. Say Mara. Mara. Mara? Yes. Mara. 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 Say it. Mara. 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 Okay, now take up speed. Mara. 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 At last he got the word Rama. When he said Mara. 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 Mara, you could say that. And imagine people in Malaysia could easily chant the name Rama Rama. All right? Rama Rama, butterfly. No, this that means they have some kind of sukriti. Some kind of auspiciousness. Anyway, I'm going on to the topic. So that's the thing. So even Ratnakara, by associating with devotee, is a previous birth or is ancient prejudice and his modern prejudice, both are removed and they attain auspiciousness. All right. The foremost instruction of Sri, okay. Now the next one is, right, the foremost instruction of Ramanujacharya, Srila Ramanujacharya, the Acharya of Sri Vaishnava. What did he say is this? If Vaishnava and you, if you cannot purify yourself by any endeavor whatsoever, all right, he says, Ramanuja Acharya says, if you cannot purify yourself by all kind of effort whatsoever, then just go and sit with the Vaishnava and you'll achieve all auspiciousness. Look at that. You are trying to heal yourself. You're trying to come out of all these things. You cannot. Then you just simply go and sit with Vaishnava. You just go and sit with him. You will achieve all perfection. So by observing the pure characteristic of a devotee, in a very short time, a person's mind is changed. His attachment to sense enjoyment decreases, and the seedling of bhakti sprouts. The bhakti, bhakti beach, the seed of devotion will start to sprout. Seedling, we know that, whether, right? It start to sprout in the heart. Okay, one even gradually develop taste for Vaishnava's food and behavior. Okay, that means one even gradually develops the taste for Vaishnava food, prasadam, and also their behavior. We have seen how, associating Vaishnava, people have given up all anarthas. We have seen. That means by associating Vaishnava, people have given up all many anarthas. Taste for associating with women, thirst for wealth, desire for sense enjoyment and liberation, inclination for karma and jnana, eating meat and fish, drinking wine, smoking tobacco, and all the desire like chew pan or to chew pan. You know the pan? They're chewing the pan. You know, they like to speak like that. Everything is given up. So by observing a Vaishnava quality of not uselessly wasting time, it is not uselessly wasting time. That means to observe. Oh, don't think, oh, I'm wasting time sitting with Vaishnava, you know. It's not. Many people have easily given up anarthas and as laziness, oversleeping, useless talk, urge to speech, etc. We have also seen that by associating with Vaishnava, sometimes someone's cheating propensity and desire for fame even destroyed. Even the cheating propensity, even the desire for fame, you know, name and fame, is also destroyed. We have seen with our own eyes that by associating with Vaishnava, a little affection to all, affection, all other associations such as attachment to prejudice has been vanquished. All right. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling one by one. So we have seen those who are attached to winning fight. That means those who are attached to winning fights. Those who are expert in attaining dominion. They want to dominate. They want to be the leader. Those who are eager to accumulate great wealth. Those who want to be a multi-millionaire. All such type of people have attained devotional service by being purified by the association of Vaishnava. So all these kind of things purified, right? Like one of the example is the founder of Ford company, Henry Ford. His grandson, what they call his grandson, his name is Alfred Ford. His grandson, a great grandson, Alfred Ford. All right, after he surrendered to Vaishnava, Srila Prabhupada, what he did, his name became Ambarish Das. And he's the one, that main person is building the TOVP in Mayapur. Of course, it's all over the world, people are listening, but the biggest donation came from him because, and now he doesn't have desire how to make this car, how to make Ford into like Ferrari. No, Ford is such an old company, right? He can think, okay, now let's turn into Mustang and Mustang turn into Ferrari. He was not interested. He's the board of director, but his mind and soul is only with Krishna. He's not thinking about how to create or how to become richest man in the universe. Okay, you don't have that. So this is an example. Even the hearts of a person who, excuse me, even the heart of the person who think, I will defeat the world by my argument and attain supremacy. Even people have that kind of thought, have been pacified. They also has been pacified. Without the association of Vaishnava, there's no alternative for rectifying the attachment for prejudices. So, without the association of Vaishnava, there's no way we can rectify the attachment for prejudice. Wonderful. Fantastic. You know, I'm feeling so ecstatic studying this. I believe all of you. Okay, now it's exactly 11. So we end the session here. So now we open for questions. Any questions? Any feedback? Any calculation? One should carefully give up. page 64, the last paragraph. One should carefully give up the attachment. Those who have a book, please mark the thing. Right? Right. If there's no question, we continue tomorrow. Right. Thank you so much for your time. I really had a good time. Okay, now I've got a request. Tomorrow is a public holiday. I believe that you all know that tomorrow is a public holiday. Is it possible that we can have a prolonged class? Okay. So since tomorrow is a public holiday, Tuesday, so I'm just asking your permission. Will it be okay that we start from 9? Maybe we try to go on. We try to take every 1 hour break. All right, maybe from 9 break at 11. Then after that 11 break, then maybe we can do up to maybe 12 noon. If it's okay with every one of you, maybe you can update in the group, or maybe I'll just put a thing in the group. Since it's a public holiday, let's have a prolonged class, but this is so ecstatic. All right. So with that, thank you so much for your time. It's my great pleasure to have all of you here today, and I'm very fortunate with your association. So till then, have a beautiful day. Pancha kalpatarubhescha kripa sindhubhyevacha paditanam pavinebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Gauranga.
Gauranga.